So guys, this is the finished product. Much better than it was before with the grimy buckle. The grimy buckle. Hey guys, what's up? Today I have a project I'm working on. I'm transplanting a belt buckle from a fairly new belt to one of my favorite belts. I've had this belt for over 10 years. It's a Royden belt. It's made in the USA, and I paid about $36 for this, $35 like 10, maybe 12 years ago. I've had this for a long time. There's a video on my channel reviewing this belt, discussing this belt. Over here, the buckle is coming from a new belt. I've had this belt for about maybe 3 years, and I've only worn this about 5 to 6 times before it started doing this thing. It's a club room belt from Macy's, the Macy's department store here in New York, and it was advertised as leather. But it's clearly not leather. It started splitting on me. It started doing this, and it's pretty much like compressed. I don't know what it is, like cardboard or paper material that's compressed and painted on one side, and then it's glued or stuck onto something that looks like leather. I don't know what that is. But anyway, the buckle, I really like buckles like these. That's why I got this belt, and I bought this, I think it was like $15 on sale when I got it. And I really like the buckle. I like the contrast of that brass tone with the brown leather. So I'm going to take this buckle, just basically cut the threads here and remove the buckle there. And I'm going to transplant it onto my Royden belt, which after about 10 to 12 years of use, it's become grimy and crummy. The brass is all eroded away. And the buckle thing here is just not even brass anymore. Some sort of like the steel that's underneath is just coming out, and I have all this stuff here that I'm going to clean. So the reason I'm doing this video is that you might have a belt like this, you don't know that you could take the buckle out. But these things are called grommets. And you could peel away the grommets. They're metal, but you could take one of these tools. I'm using my Gerber knife, but I'm mainly using, I have a watch tool, case back tool remover. It's also a pry tool. You can also use, I have a Phillips head screwdriver, and you're just going to pry underneath these grommets and just peel them back. They're like sort of like a flower, and you're just going to flatten it out like that. So it's stayed in like that, but you're just going to peel it like that, and then it becomes like a little tulip kind of, and then you remove the belt parts. I'm going to do these two and then take that out. Also, might replace them. I have a Grommet Kit here. Now you could buy one of these on Amazon for less than $5. It's very useful to have one of these in the house. Some belts have pins. You could just snap them out and take the buckles. But this belt, they decided to use these grommets. I believe these are one-time use grommets. But if I can't reuse them, I'm going to use my Grommet Kit and put like a different maybe grommet in there. But I'm definitely going to replace the buckle here, and I'm going to take a break and then come back when I get these two out. Hey guys, I'm done. I got the last grommet pulled out. Now these things are like petals. You just want to pry. So what I've been doing was starting with my trusty Gerber knife. This knife is really handy. I've had this for a long time. And I just dig into the leather. It's really soft and supple. And this is genuine leather. You can't do this with something like that belt where it's fake leather. So you just dig right in. And it's fine if you scratch a little bit. It's on the inside. No one's going to really see it. But you could also just treat it with something to get the scratches out. So I'm going to just pull up on that. And it just pops right out. You can see inside the belt. You can see I've had this for a long time. You know, I might have had this. It's 2020. I might have had this more than 10 years. I think I bought this in 2004. Or a little after 2004. So it just comes right off like that. Give you a close-up of the dirt under the buckle. I'm not going to keep this. I'm actually going to get rid of this, along with my replacement belt, along with my source belt where I'm sourcing the buckle from. So I'm sourcing it from this belt here. Very cheap belt. A waste of $15. I should go back and get my money. So just to show you the inside of this. I'm going to clean that up a bit with, I don't know what to clean that with. Maybe with just a damp rag, just to get rid of that green stuff that's under the grommets there. And just going to use my Gerber knife. On a belt like this where it's stitched, these are real easy. You could just cut into it. Just cut. I think my knife might be dull. So actually, this is so cheaply made, this belt. It's just like one cut and it came right out. Oh, that is really gross. So just one more cut. I don't want to damage the buckle. Kind of could expose the thread there, as you can see. Also don't want to cut my hands. I'm just going to cut away at the threads. And, of course, the last thing. This is such a cheap belt. This is why you should only buy things made in the USA. So basically, USA, made in the USA versus made in, it doesn't even say, I don't even want to say China. I want to say it could be somewhere else. But pretty much like, you know what I mean, made in a part of the world where they don't pay people anything to make products. So, you know, I always say, like, a lot of good things come out of China, but people, American companies and Western companies do not move manufacturing to China. That's my argument. They don't move stuff over there to be made in China to make quality. They do it to make a profit. So the buckles, sorry guys, I had to put my flash on. My camera wasn't focusing. So you can see the new buckle versus the old one. Not really new, but it's from the donor belt. And you can see the old one, the brass was worn away. And the pin was even just worn down to the metal, the steel, whatever that is underneath the brass. So I'm just going to put this new one in. This is really cool. Fairly new, actually. It looks brand new. And that's to say, I only wore, literally, like I said, I wore this belt like six times, if that much, before it started doing that. It's not leather. It's advertised as leather, but it's not. So to put this on, you just do the reverse of what you did to take off the buckle. But you want to make sure the pin is on the proper side. I don't know what this is called. I'm calling it a pin, but it's probably called something else. I'm sure there's a technical name for that. But I'm not a cobbler, so I don't know. I didn't go to cobbler school. So it's on there. And that's kind of what you have when you're finished. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. And my grommets, you kind of can see it better now with the flash on and the camera's focusing properly. So you can see the grommets, how they come out. So what I'm going to do is, I do have a Grommet Kit here. And one of these metal rods would push that grommet back into place. So imagine like a flower, like a tulip, where the grommets are right now, like that. But I'm going to push down on it and spread it out to lock it back in. If it works, if these are reusable, good for me. If not, I do have more grommets that I could select from in there. All right, so I'm going to clean this up and come right back. So guys, this is the finished product. Much better than it was before with the grimy buckle. The grimy buckle, that's what I call it. The brass on the cheap belt even matched up with my shot shell there. The inside, I reused the grommets from before, but I actually realized I have the wrong style of grommets. These grommets were too wide and they're too shallow. You need deeper ones for like a thick belt like that. So, but I did ended up, the grommet tools that came in this kit were useful. There's a Grommet Press, so I use my Grommet Press, not in the way you should use it, but I use the press to actually push those in, back in, and then I use this to flatten them out. So it's kind of cool that this came in handy, even though I couldn't replace the grommets with new ones. I were able to reuse the grommets, but I'm going to order just order one for this belt. I just need like longer ones, because when the belt is folded over, you have that. So that's pretty much it. It looks really good. It's holding, it's solid. I can get maybe another, hopefully 10 more years out of this belt, 15 more years out of this belt. Yeah, so that's one of the things I like about you know, DIYs and doing stuff yourself, because I don't have to throw this out. I would have had to throw a really good belt away, whereas now I could recycle this, my crappy belt, and probably recycle this in a paper bin, paper recycling, because it's like cardboard glued to like some sort of I don't know what that is. And it's not leather, even though it was advertised as leather. And I'm just probably going to recycle this in my, somewhere in metal bins or something. Someone will pick that up and reuse that. So that's it. Recycled and made in America and repaired in America by an American. And that's how we do it up in here. All right, guys, till the next one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Oh, and I also did this just to show you guys, I'm sorry, before I go. You can do it yourself if you realize your belt, when you flip it over, it has one of these things, and you want to either, you could buy a buckle. They sell belt buckles online. You can order one of these if you just want to repair your buckles. You don't have to get a belt buckle from a donor belt, but it shows you, like, if you do have a belt where it's wearing on a leather, here you could recycle the buckle onto maybe another belt that has good leather or good a good fabric around it. So it shows you could recycle. You don't have to throw everything out. And it's one of the, I think, the lessons I'm learning. So I'll see you in the next one, guys. Hopefully this helped. Bye.